is the best injury law firm in Shreveport-Bossier? The people voted, and it is. Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers, handling real cases with real injuries.
Real cases, real injuries. Morris and DeWitt Injury Lawyers.
When I'm choosing a healthcare provider, I look for convenience and also are these specialists available that I need to see.
I want to have quality healthcare. I want something that's close to home.
The number one thing I'm looking for is compassion and understanding.
I look for someone that can heal me, can do the things I need done, and that's the experience I've had with Oscar.
What a great privilege it is to be part of Byrd's centennial celebration. I'm Jerry Montgomery, class of '67, and this is my wife Allison and two of our children, Robert and Margaret Ann, class of 2016. Behind us stands our family business, Chevyland, which has been part of the Byrd High School legacy for more than 60 years. We are honored to sponsor this documentary today as we look back on the 100 years that Byrd is closely woven into the fabric of our community, always deep within our hearts. Byrd High School, we love you.
One of the things that I knew was going to happen was I was going to be part of the 100th class.
It's kind of surreal seeing all the people and how much they love Byrd.
I think that is the best battle cry that all the classes collectively have done in a long time.
It's a wonderful experience to know that you can say you're from Byrd and then say, Byrd, it's still alive, but still alive.
Byrd High School has been a family. We've called it affectionately over the years since Mr. Kaufman named it the City of Byrd.
And the beat goes on and on and on and on. The quality of life and education C.E. Byrd has provided since 1925.
What an amazing accomplishment for Byrd High School to be around for 100 years.
We all tear up sometimes when we talk about the great influence that it has had on us.
Some of the most instrumental 4 years of my life were at C.E. Byrd High School.
When you walk into this building, there is an expectation that you have to bring your A game every day.
For so many amazing people to come from the school, I think it's a testament to the education and the environment that's fostered.
It means so much to Shreveport. It shaped so many natives of Shreveport and has done so much for that community and for that city.
We simply love Byrd High School, and we're going to keep on loving Byrd High School.
You're going to see a lot of Byrd graduates here of all different generations.
That's
so
great.
Dad was born in 1925, and he lived on Stevenson Street, 800 block.
Okay.
So he was walking distance to Byrd.
So how did you feel about turning 100 the same year that Byrd turns 100?
Well, I thought it was pretty cute. pretty coincidental there. I was in the ROTC, and I was a supply officer down in the old concrete building used to be down there. I think it's just a good school. It's a very good school.
What a great legacy that Byrd High School provides for our city. Excellence for a total of 100 years.
To be able to have a school that is a century old, that has so many traditions, that has so many people that are still involved and want to be here is really unique.
It's an institution, and how do you know it's an institution? Anything that goes beyond 25 years become its own milestone institution, becomes a staple, a community pillar.
I thought it was very cool that I got to kind of share being part of a special class like with my grandparents. You know, they were all like, oh, well, we're the 50th, you're gonna be the 100th. So I always was excited about that before I even came here.
You don't get to see that very often, especially, you know, outside of schools, maybe in the Northeast in the country.
Whenever I was making my decision where to go to high school, that was a big deciding factor, being part of the 100th graduating class.
It's really cool and definitely was a driving factor that brought me here.
Just think about the impact that Byrd has made, not only here in our city, in our state, in our nation, but in the world.
I think Byrd being able to celebrate 100 years is just so special, and it just shows how incredible Byrd is to our community.
It's afforded people a lot of opportunities that they probably wouldn't have had they not come in contact with a Yellow Jacket.
Honestly, Shreveport High School and its predecessors all rolled into Byrd High School. I have a diploma down the hall signed by C.E. Byrd. It was issued to a student in May of 1899. The school at that time was called Shreveport Central High School.
Shreveport High had been developed by Mr. Clifton Ellis Byrd. He was referred to as Professor Byrd. And he was quite a scholar. He was determined that he was going to have an excellent school system in Caddo Parish.
There were only 13 graduates that year, and one diploma has survived that I know about, and we have it.
Of course, you know, you start down on Hope Street.
Old Hope Street High School. Mother told me the story of how Grover C. Kaufman found her.
That school had sort of gotten the nickname Shreveport High School. Grover C. Kaufman became the principal in 1919.
My mother was there when he came there. And if I heard that story once, I've heard it about 14 million times.
At Shreveport High School, the High Life was created. The Gusher was actually first published.
Clifton Ellis Byrd was the original superintendent for Caddo Parish Schools.
So he was principal when he signed that diploma, then he became superintendent, and all these schools were really his dream and his vision.
The building of Byrd just out in the field, way down at the end of Line Avenue trolley.
My home, which was on Barrett Street, was 2 miles from downtown. And of course, Byrd High School was maybe 2.5 miles from downtown.
Byrd High School was way out of town.
October of 25, we went to Byrd High School.
The students literally from Shreveport High School just simply moved to Byrd High School.
All of the organization that had been developed at Old Hope Street was just taken lock, stock, and barrel and handed over into Byrd High School.
I had an old aunt, Emma Lou Turner. She transferred over from Old Shreveport High.
Our class, which was the class of 1928, was the first class that went all 3 years, because in those years we had only 11 grades.
And they brought with it all of their traditions, the Yellow Jackets, the Gusher.
People would call and say, Joanne, do you remember so-and-so? I said, well, they graduated with it. Let me get my Gusher. Orvis said, what the heck is a Gusher? I said, it's a yearbook. And so he would tell people, Joanne has 2 holy books at our house. They'd say, has she changed religions? They'd say, well, what are they? He said, well, one's the Holy Bible and the other ones are called Gushers. And everybody, of course, all my friends are graduates, and they'll just die laughing.
A lot of people came to Byrd High School on the trolleys, and the trolley company had a special school ticket that was 4 cents a piece.
First principal, and who I feel like is the godfather of Byrd, is Grover C. Kaufman. You can tell his greatness from a couple of reasons. Talking to alumni that graduated under him, you can see the tears in their eyes sometimes whenever they talk about him, how well he remembered everybody's name.
Grover Kaufman was remarkable. He was the patriarch of the community, a remarkable man, a brilliant man.
Mr. Kaufman made himself well liked by the community because he believed in good education. He believed in running a tight ship.
On football day, the band would come out and sit in their chairs and cover the whole stage. And so Mr. Benner, who was the director, played a song, The Donkey Serenade. And Mr. Kaufman got on the podium and he led the band. Well, the audience went crazy.
Mr. Kaufman was a very vibrant sort of a personality.
I'm crying because this is my memory of Byrd High School.
When the war ended, and during parts of the war, Mother did private teaching at home. Had Grover C. Kaufman, they would be coming to Byrd, you know, and they needed help, and she would tutor them.
Our hero, the man who set the pace.
Families, friends, alumni, and any other of you Yellow Jacket fans, I'd like to welcome you all to this, a dedication to Grover C. Kaufman. Grover C. Kaufman is a name that is known and cherished by all who hold it any part of Byrd High School in his or her heart. And for that, we owe many thanks to Mr. Kaufman.
I don't occupy my office. I occupy Grover Kaufman's office. Because any way you look at it, no one can ever give more to Byrd High School than did Grover Kaufman.
I feel like we owe so much to Grover C. Kaufman.
He had an assistant principal by the name of Charles Ravenna. Let me tell you what, Mr. Ravenna is as dearly loved as anyone in the Byrd community.
No one influenced me more than Charles Ravenna. Tried to lead me in the right direction, told me I was going to be no good at all if I didn't hurry up and do something.
Charles would start us off at the beginning of the year, then he would come back and he would call all of our names.
He knew every student's name in the school, and he never forgot your name. And you could see him 10 years, 15 years later, and he knew your name. And you sure didn't want Mr. Ravenna saying your name when it was not a good time.
Byrd's students could meet Charles Ravenna on the street somewhere or the grocery store 25 years later, and he'd call you by your name. He knew everybody and everything. It was unusual, and we laughed about it because Mr. Ravenna was watching us for the rest of our life.
My favorite memory that I can share with everybody was that we had a commencement speaker, and we were in wool coats and white wool trousers, and it was hot as blazes out in the Coliseum. And my favorite memory was when the speaker stopped.
He was just remarkable, and he came back here working in our alumni office.
When I was here, every now and then you would see Charles Ravenna.
Really?
You would, and I mean, it was a rarity.
He was an old man by then.
He was an old man.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like watching Byrd royalty walk down the hall, you know.
When Mr. Kaufman retired,
he was followed by the man who was my principal, J.H. Duncan, who was here for a number of years and a very, very popular guy. He could get up on the stage and do Who Are the Jackets as well as anyone who's ever done it.
We're going to ask Susie a question. Now, Susie, of course, I know you can't talk, but but you can signal to me. So if Fair Park's going to win, you just leave your hat on. If Byrd is going to win, take your hat off, okay? All right, Susie, let's get that hat on here.
J.H. Duncan's trademark was BYRD, beat your rival's desire. And oftentimes the reason that we were so successful is because of the fact that we just seemed to care more.
So you see, even a chimpanzee knows about how much we want to get the job done tonight. Now, we can and will win with an all-out, united effort.
Mr. Duncan was followed by Dr. B.L. Shaw.
Dr. Shaw, who was principal,
so could have sent me to prison. And he just would sit back and go, Bill, I really want you to sort of channel your enthusiasms into more productive arenas. You're an interesting fella.
It was always a positive experience and interaction no matter what was going on. He always made us feel a part of the city of Byrd High School.
Then after that period of time that they call the golden years, you get into some years where things were a little bit tougher for Byrd.
Byrd was in transition when I was here. Was here from 69 to 71. Captain Shreve started it in 1968. It was the new cool school.
Southwood, Huntington, Woodlawn all opened up, and that caused Byrd's enrollment to decline. That and also desegregation.
I have to remind people that I grew up in the segregated South, and I was at Byrd when the first black student was enrolled.
We had our first black student, Arthur.
He was very isolated, but it was a huge change. It was a huge breakthrough.
Arthur took a lot. He did. The 60s were hard.
I attended Byrd at a historical time. I was one of the few black students who went to C.E. Byrd in 1967, and that was the first time someone had gone to C.E. Byrd, African American, and go from 10th grade through 12th.
I attended Byrd from 1970 to 1973. There was this period of transition centered around civil rights and changing the nation to be a better nation.
When I went to Byrd, it was 1 year after forced integration, so there was a lot of newness in Byrd, and I think the conflict was the difference between integration and absorption.
For the first time in secondary school education history, two different student bodies were blended into one student body. Never had happened in the country.
That, I think, is a tremendous milestone, but it was a huge change. It was a huge breakthrough.
I was a senior at Byrd when it was forced. That's when certain schools had to close and become integrated.
Byrd High School was combined with Valencia High School, and they came to Byrd under the integration program. And it was really a very interesting time in my life and for the world, for that matter.
Valencia was the predominantly black school in the area, and Byrd High School at that time was the predominantly white school in the area.
It happened at the beginning of 1970, our graduating year, and I was perhaps 4 or 5 of us were chosen to go to Valencia and talk to the students and help them with that transition.
So on a particular day, the buses arrived, the faculty, the student body at Valencia was bused over to Byrd High School.
They brought a lot of the administration over and put them in different capacities, and some of them were lesser capacities than when they were at Valencia.
George Wilson, who was the principal over at Valencia, and he came over here and he became an assistant principal. I just can't tell you what a contribution he made to the transition.
And Mr. Wilson always looked out for not only just the other students, but he looked out for all other students as assistant principal.
The sounds of Byrd in 1974 and 1975 included the voice of Mr. Jewel Wagner, Byrd's principal.
I've enjoyed being Byrd's principal during this year, 1974-75, the year of the Byrd's 50th graduating class.
My parents had already talked to my sister and I that the experience was going to be different.
The fellowship of Byrd students is unique among the high schools of the city, as people from all backgrounds, beliefs, and personalities work together to cheer on their athletes, display their talents, take pride in their scholars, appreciate their fine teachers, and to have peaceful satisfaction in their chosen leaders.
My time at Byrd High School was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful opportunity to learn to work with people from different nationalities and backgrounds.
think what's so unique is that it almost, didn't make it through the 80s.
Numbers were so low that the superintendent of schools at that time only gave the school 1 year to survive before they were going to close the doors.
Well, in 1981, senior class was so small.
We were dwindling, had a very small population. A lot of students were moving to the private schools, parochial schools.
They were going to phase out Byrd High School and phase in Magnet High. So the decision was made to give Byrd a chance through a new math science magnet program.
Through the Math Science Magnet at Byrd, students will be better prepared for the future, a future of increasing technology and scientific discoveries. The Magnet program is available to qualified students from all over Caddo Parish.
And adding that math and science magnet school really helped save and rejuvenate the school.
I came because of the math science magnet program. I had gone to Magnet High before, but I didn't really like the program because I didn't really get that involved in it. And when I came to Byrd, I enjoyed it.
Buddy called me into his office and said, we're all going to retire someday, aren't we? And I said, yeah, that's not, And he said, I'm retiring tomorrow. I just looked at him and I said, you got me to come over here and you're going to retire on me? And he said, tomorrow, it's official. After Buddy Shaw retired, I was named principal in 86. About 13 years ago, then Superintendent Walter Lee, in a report to the Shreveport Times, indicated that it would be unlikely that Byrd High School could remain open beyond the next year.
To be honest, at that time, from what I had been told and sort of what I saw for myself, the school was somewhat on a decline. I had heard about this city of Byrd. It was a much bigger school than what I was used to in California, but it was struggling.
The citizens that were there in Shreveport that had graduated from Byrd got together.
And they realized we had something really special to the city of Shreveport.
After Lynn Fitzgerald became principal, she turned to the alumni and said, okay, we can't be a successful school if our prominent alumni who came out in support of keeping the school are going to send their kids elsewhere.
And I cannot tell you the strength of this community. They gathered up, they went to the school board, they petitioned, their voices were heard. The Caddo Parish School Board decided to give Byrd High School one more go. And did we ever make it go?
Started to set the school on a new path of revival, and they were successful in it.
One of our parents, Minette Thornton and Blocker Thornton, and they were coming up with this notion of an ultimate reunion. Do something to get the word out that Byrd was back.
Thousands of Byrd graduates are expected to show up tomorrow night for the ultimate prom at Expo Hall.
Surely those who taught me knows now that we were taking good care of that which he gave.
Put on an ultimate reunion that brought the Chicago Tribune and newspapers from all over the country.
When you come to the open house tomorrow, you must report to your home community.
We were hosting about 12,000 Byrd graduates. It was the beginning of our first Hall of Fame.
About 1,500 Byrd graduates got together today at the Expo Hall, with 5 other ex-Byrdites who were inducted into the Byrd High Hall of Fame. It was the start of the ultimate reunion where everyone who ever graduated from Byrd was invited back for one big bash.
I get teary-eyed, I tell you. Jim really did me in. It's gracious. But I'm like all the other recipients up here. I'm overcome, I'm honored. It's just wonderful that I was selected.
I'm very honored to be in such a distinguished company in the Byrd High School Hall of Fame. In the words of the country song, you are always in my heart, you are often in my mind. Have a great 2 days and thanks for the memories. You had to abandon everything you've done, all the money, all the honors, all the experiences, everything else, and go back to Byrd High School in the class of 1950 or whatever your class was. Would you do it? You bet.
And there was one posthumous award, and that went to the late Grover Kaufman, Byrd's first principal.
I think it's one of the great stories of secondary education.
For the first time tonight, the dean man is ball going left. He is down inside.
I joined the football team. The football team had a 30-game losing streak, so everything was sort of in a downward spiral.
We had the longest losing streak in football history in Louisiana. Couldn't win a football game, and that's really important.
Really, it was our first win, not that that's what turned everything around.
So we took off and started having athletic success, had great success with the ultimate reunion. Gradually, people started coming and having a look.
I chose Byrd because it's got a lot of tradition behind it, and I've heard a lot about it, and it's got a really strong academic curriculum and also a very strong extracurricular activity curriculum. This school is just a whole lot more fun because you can get involved and the people are so much more friendly.
Byrd High School is probably one of the better schools in Caddo Parish. With the faculty and the students, I'd have to say there is no better school than Byrd High School.
Byrd's like one big family.
The community just needed Byrd to continue to exist. And I know of some discussions that what are we going to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but I think Byrd will always be in the heart of people.
90s presented a time of full revival for Byrd. Byrd got back on its feet. Byrd became one of the top schools in the nation, and Byrd put itself in a position to be successful for the next 100 years.
The moment that I knew we had made it, because it was always questionable, was in the late 90s, and I was in the Rose Garden of the White House to hear the name of Byrd High School called.
That is a major impact when you're recognized by the capital of this country as one of the foremost, and I say that loudly, high schools in the United States.
In the mid-'80s, when they were talking about closing us down, we had just a little over 600 kids in the school. 2001, when I retired, we were the second largest school in Louisiana. And then I was followed by a gentleman from South Louisiana. And then Mr. Badgley, a former Byrd High School student. He was a young man while I was principal who I hired to be a permanent substitute.
I came here literally as a substitute teacher in 86, 87, somewhere right in there. It's been a great ride, and I never thought for 1 second that I would ever be sitting in the principal's chair. People came to me and said, "We want you to apply." That's how I ended up where I am.
During the homecoming celebration, we really felt the spirit of Byrd. Go Byrd 100 class!
$100 years? Mr. Badgley must be pretty old.
Really old. I got to be with my cheer team, and it was really cool. There was a really big crowd at the parade. It's usually a lot smaller, so it was fun to see everybody show up for the parade.
Y'all, I'm so happy to be a part of the centennial class.
It's actually so cool. Like, I'm really excited. I know.
The homecoming parade is so much fun.
Hey! Hello! How are you? Good. Y'all look cute.
This year I was riding in a float for student council because I'm an officer.
Hey! Y'all look so cute! Oh my goodness! I love the jacket.
I love student council.
I think it worked.
And the theme was wild animals, so each club or organization that was a part of the parade chose a different animal.
I love the cheetahs. Hey girl.
y'all? We're like still in line all the way over there.
It was a quick turnaround finding out that I won Homecoming Queen. Your beads ran out. When we were at the parade, seeing so many like little children like wave at me, say hi. It's kind of stressful having to throw things though. I had to kind of hit some people, but
work that arm a little bit.
I did.
I am very proud of you. You did a beautiful thing up there.
Thank you.
Do something, baby.
The Byrd Homecoming Parade was so much fun.
I agree. I love seeing all of our friends and family out here throwing it.
In my time, I think this has been our biggest Byrd homecoming parade, and that was just so cool to see and like be able to witness and also be like a part of.
The pep rally was a lot of fun. We put a lot of work, a lot of extra work into preparing for that.
Well, doing the NC at the pep rallies was pretty special.
Jacket fans, on your feet.
Being a part of the football team, the pep rally was super fun. Getting to run out and see everybody out there just cheering.
Byrd is always known for its fun pep rallies, and I just think that like the homecoming one really showcases how much we love our school and we love our football team as well.
We have some special guests here with us today. We have a performance from our alumni tech squad drum program. Please give these ladies a warm welcome.
At the end, when we do our like fighting chants, where it's like our class chants and everything. Like the seniors got to win, and that was so much fun.
Please join us tonight at Lee Hedges for our homecoming game against Natchitoches Central.
Get in and get into the hive and get ready for making a big win over Natchitoches Central tonight.
I remember vividly, like behind the banner, and I remember hearing the band play, and it was something different that I had never heard before. So when we ran out, and I'm seeing all the old graduates and stuff, and them playing the band, it kind of made me turn up a little bit, and I got way more excited than I've ever been. So it was just great to see all that.
Savannah, this is so cool. We get to be a part of this 100th homecoming football game celebration. And there's so many alumni and so many people showed up in the hive. It's so awesome.
I'm just a little nervous. You know, we got to walk on the field. You know, we're the 100th homecoming court. That's so cool when I think of it. It's a really important year in our history, and being able to have the student body vote for me to be a representation of what Byrd has done for the past 100 years.
I was so proud of her because of everything, and to know that her fellow students voted for her to be homecoming queen, it was like, don't cry. It was just that moment for me.
Our 2024 Queen of Homecoming, Anaya Kiara Young.
She's always a queen at home anyway. So
Anaya is the daughter of Cedric Young Sr. and Tawana Young. African American Studies and co-executive producer of Byrd.
And I'm so blessed that so many of my peers see me as a person that, like, this represents what Byrd is.
Irate History Club, National Honor Society, Top Jackets, FCA, HOSA, and Art Club. Crown bearer, Audrey Castleman.
One of the greatest honors for me was having my 6-year-old daughter as the crown bearer for the homecoming.
Audrey is the daughter of former C.E. Byrd Student Council President Christopher Castleman and Jana Castleman.
It's nice to see all of that come full circle, and nice for her to be a part of something like Byrd High School that's been around for 100 years and been thriving for a vast majority of that 100 years.
Well, this is my actual football jersey from 10th, 11th, 12th grade. You got to pick whichever one you wanted. And it's a lot tighter than it used to be.
Well, you wear it to homecoming games?
I wore it I always wear it to homecoming games, yeah.
A-C-K-E-T-S. Oh yes, because we are the best. Go Giants.
Really fun time. Kept it close a little bit, but we pulled it out in the end. It was just a really hard-fought game that was really fun to be a part of, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Athletics is at the heart of the history of Byrd High School.
I'm Maddie Mason. Please join us tonight at Lee Hedges to help cheer on our team and beat the Gators.
The Byrd-Shreve rivalry has always been very, very intense.
Greatest memory I feel like is that that pep rally, man, coming through that banner.
It was like the greatest day because everybody had so much energy and so much excitement before the football game.
And that entire gym being full of kids dressed in camo with a face paint, everybody screaming, and just like, I'd never known that energy at any point in my life until I got around that.
That was a special time to be at Byrd. Strong's breakfast, everybody decked in camo. The pep rally was always the most fun.
It is always an exciting dynamic. You would think that it was two colleges playing each other.
It is definitely like deep rooted into Shreveport. Like you have to be on one side or the other.
That's the rivalry that makes going to Byrd special. I remember as like a 6th grader, Friday nights going to the Byrd-Shreve game, knowing that I was going to get a chance to play in that.
I think for me, it's sharing it with really my whole family. I remember coming to the Shreve football games, and I've got pictures of me with my grandparents in their camo because they were both Byrd graduates. And then, mom there too as well. We'll forgive my dad because he was alligator at Shreve.
It's a lot of teachers are into it. Principal, everybody just running around going nuts. And then that leading into the game.
I just remember having a lot of fun with that rivalry at football games. That was our biggest game of the season. Whenever we played Shreve, everyone took it seriously.
I remember looking up at that student section and being like, God, dude, this is serious.
Yeah.
And we never got beat.
When I went to my first high school game, being a high schooler, they tell you about the Hive. The Hive really is it's very infectious. It's infectious.
Going into the stands with your peers, doing all the chants, it's a part of the Byrd culture.
My favorite memories and times at Byrd are on the front row of the Hive at the football games.
It was my senior year, so we were sitting at the front and there were speakers that were blaring music. We're all wearing camo and just getting super excited and ready for the game. And I remember it's everybody has their adrenaline running, and as a class and as a school, it brings us all so much closer.
Several of actually my close friends went to Shreve, so it was, we went rolling every night before the Byrd-Shreve game. We rolled all their houses.
Nah, we just hated them. If I can remember right, I feel like our football team won most of those games.
I remember looking at the student section. I remember looking at the scoreboard after us whooping them. I think my junior year we beat them pretty good.
I always tell people it really wasn't a rivalry because we owned them. They never beat us as far as the way sports went. They never beat us, even in our worst season.
The bus ride to Lee Hedges had a little bit more juice to it. I always remember the Byrd-Shreve games.
There's a tradition every year, like the night before the Shreve versus Byrd game, everyone from each school will go around the town and like put up signs and all of that, and that's my favorite part.
Love all the signs that they put out around town. Still to this day, I mean, I have a 6- and 5-year-old. When it is that Friday morning of the Byrd Shreve game, we are driving around town like pointing at all the signs. My kids are just into it as we are.
When I see the inflatable gator hanging from the 31-32 overpass on the day of the Byrd Shreve football game.
We still text about it.
We still text about it.
We had a dance called Sadie Hawkins, and I asked someone from Shreve to go to the Sadie Hawkins dance with me. And do you know, the day before that dance, he pulled out. He said he could not make it. So that's when I really realized how big the Byrd and Shreve rivalry was. We were kids.
I did my internship at Shreve before I came to Byrd, and Dr. McCullough was a very close personal friend of mine. Now, we were fierce rivals. I did not want to lose to Captain Shreve. Now, I'll just be honest with you. And to this day, I don't want to lose to Captain Shreve.
Some students from Shreve actually dropped off an alligator and tied it to the flagpole.
And you know, everybody's wearing camo, everybody's going gator hunting, and somebody had brought a real gator. What year is it? Might have been your freshman year, maybe my junior year.
And I was getting out of carpool that day, and I see our principal basically wrestling an alligator.
It wasn't a real big alligator, but I've caught a few alligators over the years when I was a game warden. I mean, any of them, if they bite you, it's going to hurt. So he's probably 4 foot long, maybe.
It wasn't a big one. I mean, you know, this was a handheld gator, but still a gator.
So I caught the alligator, you know, we taped his mouth shut. So they take pictures of that. Well, every year it seems like that one comes up on Facebook.
It was hilarious, and it's one of those notable moments where it's only in Louisiana, right?
And I said, you know, I've got a much better alligator picture than this. And it's a picture of me when I was a game warden. And so I posted that picture. Well, they took that picture and made posters out of it. It says badge on the hunt. So they're out there at Independence with those posters up there. That didn't help the rivalry any.
I never thought it was a rivalry. I feel like you can't rival with people who don't compete, if that makes sense.
Football rivalries with Captain Shreve were so intense, and we just got all like into it.
Historically, Byrd had a great rivalry with Fair Park, but it changed because of the dynamics of Shreveport, people moving out to southeast Shreveport.
Captain Shreve got started as the sort of other high school, and well, it had no history and it had no tradition. The rivals would have been playing football against Fair Park.
At the end of the school year, there would be a competition between Byrd and Fair Park on the ROTC. They had it at the fairground. More people went to that than went to the football game. And it was a highly competitive thing. It got so competitive, my junior year at Byrd, they had to stop it.
There was a meeting of minds that possibly it would be a good idea to have a Byrd Fair Park game on Thanksgiving afternoon for the entire city.
The Fair Park Byrd, that was years and years of rivalry, so that was always talked about.
Now, we can and will win with an all-out, united effort.
That acronym that J.H. Duncan made so popular, beat your rival's desire. And so the way that I handled it against the 40-some-odd family members that I had that went to Fair Park, that's an exaggeration, but it seemed that way, as I just thought we were going to win. And most of the time we did.
In fact, I remember going with my dad to the Byrd Fair Park game. Every Thanksgiving Day would be out at the Fairgrounds Field is what it was called.
And now the victory flag is raised, a salute to the dedication and effort that will bring victory not only in football, but in every phase of life.
The Thanksgiving football game was probably one of the neatest things that used to happen because of that in-town rivalry between Byrd and Fair Park.
We feel the determination of the team members as they board the buses on the way to a victory.
I remember the celebration that we had every year, and it was Go West Week. Everyone was involved, and there were so many other activities as well.
One of the other traditions that I believe so many people from Byrd have is legacy. Either they have parents or brothers or family members that attended Byrd.
It's so cool to be in the 100th year. I have a sister that's a freshman and 2 parents and grandparents and great-grandparents that went to Byrd. That's so cool. So many generations.
I think it's great that we have several generations in the family that have all been fortunate enough to experience Byrd and what all it has to offer.
I graduated in May of 1946. You could not wear pants to Byrd High School if you were female. So we all had on sweaters and skirts and blouses and look cute. But one day Sergeant Man said, I want you girls to bring a pair of slacks to put on. Well, we didn't know what he was talking about. And we put them on, and he said, okay, girls, lie down on the ground, and I'm gonna give you a gun and show you how to shoot prone. Well, we got wide-eyed, and we did just exactly what he said.
There is a picture from graduation that my mom included in there, and it actually is David and I together at the end of graduation. So we've come full circle.
So my father went here, and I have 4 brothers. 2 of my brothers went here, and of course all 3 of my daughters and 2 granddaughters. I'm remarried. All 3 of my stepdaughters went to Byrd, and Caroline's going to graduate, and hopefully Camille will too someday.
Both my grandfathers are in the Hall of Fame. One of them was inducted my freshman year at Byrd, which was fun. And then it was really fun. My younger sister, who was just a year younger than me, we got to go 3 years at Byrd together, which was really fun.
It's really cool to know that like a lot of my family members have done a lot of the same things that I'm doing now, and just like knowing that my parents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents, they all went here, and that they can relate to all the things that I'm doing now.
I've had 2 brothers that graduated from Byrd. I've had so many cousins that graduated from Byrd. So Byrd is like that family school for us. I was hoping that my children would decide to come to Byrd, but I wasn't really sure. I was just kind of praying because I really did not want them at Shreve. When they both decided on Byrd, that was like the party in my mind, because I wanted them to wear that purple and gold like their mama wore the purple and gold.
My family home is just a block from the school. And as a kid, I grew up watching all the parades and stuff that they had, and how good the school was, and all the camaraderie of all the people we're still close to, and sharing it with all my family. And even when we went to the football games when we first got married and started having children, you know, we brought all our kids to the game, and that's how they kind of started loving Byrd.
I always knew she was going to go to Byrd. My husband actually went to Shreve. Yeah, and he was like, oh, she's gonna go to Shreve. I'm like, no, negative, she's not going to Shreve. It's pretty amazing, just because they were the 50th
graduating class.
Then she's the 100th, and I just had my 25th last year, so it was pretty amazing.
Hard to believe.
For her to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think we're only one of a couple of families that, like Francis and I, both graduated in the 50th graduating class in 75, and now Lillian's coming along here now, and she's part of the 100th year, and I think there's only a couple of families that can say they were part of the 50th, part of the 100th.
You know, it's very awesome. I get to talk to them about all the things that they did and learn from them and what they went through, and to be able to share this with them is very honoring. I feel very special.
Well, this is us. You know, of course, we were dating at our senior party.
I feel very connected with them through it. Always talking about it, always finding new pictures from when they were here.
Now, this is some of the football and cheerleading pictures that we had. This is him running track. That's him playing football right here.
Isn't this when you tried out for cheer?
This is when I tried out for cheerleader. Look how high I could jump.
Yeah.
I don't think I could jump 2 inches now. When they started putting all the bricks down, Lillian was just a tiny baby. And so what we did was we put a brick in our names. We put a brick, with our year we graduated, and we put Lily a brick because we just knew she was going to be a jacket. And then our son, who always wanted to be a jacket and go to Byrd, he just absolutely loved Byrd. So we put a brick in his name too. In 150 years and 200 years, we might have generations that go to Byrd, and they can go back and say, my great, 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 great grandma and grandpa.
Those old people, yeah.
When he was in 8th grade, he was at CMM. So everybody was talking about what school they were gonna go to. So he came to me and said, Dad, I'm thinking about Shreve. What we'll do, we'll go visit Shreve, we'll go visit Byrd, because I had to have Byrd, and we'll visit some other high schools. So it was a calculated deal. Yeah. I brought him over to Byrd, and the rest is history. Yeah. So, once he came to Byrd, he said, Dad, I think I'm at home.
It wasn't even a second thought about it.
Right.
We took one visit here, and I just fell in love with it.
And Byrd was his choice.
Yeah.
Do you have any family that went to Byrd? Who?
My grandfather, he was the 20th graduating class.
Period. Mom was the 50th.
Go Byrd. Go Yellow Jackets. I remember when Joshua had his two kids, I was excited that there was a chance that I could have a grandchild go to Byrd, and I could follow her through Byrd. And I can remember the day she started. I could show you some embarrassing pictures of her. A little history on this. You see that purple Yellow Jacket out front in the glass case? My mother made that. My stepmother made that in 1956, her senior year at Byrd High School.
I love it. I think it just keeps our family together and very whole, and I just feel like it's a very special part of me that I get to share that with so many of my family members.
I have 4 older siblings, Daisy being one of them. They all went to Byrd and they all played soccer. My most fondest memories at Byrd was probably soccer practice every day. First time playing soccer.
That's the first time you took the field as a Lady Jacket.
Against Magnet. I remember.
That's right, against Magnet. That was always a good one. Oh, there's you and Lizzie.
Yeah,
taking the field.
only sister I got to play with. I didn't get to play with you.
Growing up, I was always a Byrd fan. My granddad graduated from Byrd in 1929, Ori Marsalis. He had 3 daughters. My mom, the youngest, came along, and there was another school that opened over there. And my mom had to go to that school. And then my mom had 2 daughters, me and my sister, that graduated in 98, my sister Hillary in 02. And then my sister has a son, David Favreau, that graduated in 2022. We are just Byrd people.
Byrd is home to so many influential people. Every industry, every sector.
The culture of this school has always produced top-tier excellence, game changers, trendsetters, trailblazers. Some of our local leaders in our community today are alumni of Byrd.
Countless outstanding individuals who received much of their preparation for life at Byrd High School.
For so many amazing people to come from the school, I think it's a testament to the education and the environment that's fostered.
I remember names of families that I had only heard about before attending Byrd. The Allens and the Johnsons and the Poleys and the Sheehys and Kirkpatrick and the O'Neills. I can go on. And they were just people you heard about.
You have a Secretary of the Navy, John Dalton, who is still alive. Powers to be have just announced that they're naming a submarine after him. He was a submarine officer.
All of you Yellow Jackets who are here, we'll celebrate all the rest of you. I know you think we're a cult. All right. So, y'all, it is absolutely a pleasure to have John and Margaret in our home.
I loved Byrd High School, and it's one of the great schools in the country. I've had a wonderful life, but it has not been all roses. My worst fear was the possibility of having to declare bankruptcy. In the end, I did not have to declare bankruptcy, and little by little, I got back on my feet. The very bright spot in that devastating time was less than 5 years later. I was standing in front of Bancroft Hall at the Naval Academy, raising my right hand to become the 70th Secretary of the Navy. A true miracle. I've been married to Margaret for 52 years.
My time at Byrd was really a special time. I had a wonderful group of friends, and we are still good friends today, and we still get together, and we love to get together and tell all our old Byrd stories. Every time we get together, we tell the same stories and laugh just like they were yesterday, and like we hadn't been telling them for 52 years.
From the broadcast journalism class of C.E. Byrd, this is K-Byrd.
Welcome to this week's edition of K-Byrd, January 28, 1994. I'm Faith Jenkins.
You know, I've been so blessed to have this career in television for so many years, and I remember leaving Louisiana for the first time, moving to New York. I took a big leap from Louisiana to New York, and then coming out to California, working in TV. I just remember starting on K-Byrd.
Have you ever been out driving and saw a car that really grabbed your attention? Well, hot rods are one type of car that are becoming more and more popular.
And I really think that it put that seed and planted that seed in my life that I was going to go on and do something special on the screen. And it started at Byrd.
I'm a songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm chasing this crazy dream that my brother and I decided that we were going to leave everything we've ever known to come and do. But, you know, early on, man, I remember teachers encouraging my writing. And I remember thinking about that and it not really hitting me at the time, but having English teachers be like, hey, you're actually a good writer. You need to focus on this and work hard at it.
I'm a husband, a dad, a son, a singer and a songwriter with a lot of help from Jacob. You know, kind of got the courage to move to Nashville and chase this thing down. I remember BuzzFest, I think it was my senior year, and I dressed up like Principal Badgley. I hope he's forgiven me at this point, but we didn't win. We've been very fortunate to win some awards in country music, but there is one that I am still kind of bitter about, and I think we should have won that year.
She went on from here to the University of Arkansas. She was in the Miss America pageant and ended up being runner-up to Miss America, and then went from there out to California and started a successful acting career.
When I was here, I played golf, and I was state runner-up for a couple years, and on the basketball team, we were state runner-ups in '97 and '98, and then when I left here, I went and played golf at LSU, was an All-American there. When I graduated from LSU, played professional golf on the LPGA Tour and the Asian Tour for 10 years, and then somehow found my way back here to teach.
I'm a director. I do music videos, commercials, documentaries, Grammy nominated, won a couple of VMAs, BET Award trophy, just got that yesterday. I got an NAACP Image Award. I just shot a short film, and now I'm working on my script, so I'm a director. Never wanted to be it, so it's kind of weird, but I'm a director now, so.
I was a mischievous kid, right? And I had a lot of fun in high school, but I wanted to make movies and I wanted to tell stories, and so that's what I got to grow up to do. I've done, I don't know, 50 children's books, about 6 novels, 8 movies, 3 or 4 TV series. I had these stickers printed up that said The Raven in this Gothic handwriting, right? I had 10,000 of them printed. And I ran around sticking them all over the school. And then the day we get out of school for the Christmas holidays, over the morning announcements, Dr. Shaw comes on. He goes, we are offering a $500 reward leading to the arrest and conviction of persons defacing the school in the name of the Raven. I go into Dr. Shaw's office. He goes, you know, I'm not going to send you to jail. I'm not going to get you. You're not going to be arrested. What you're going to have to do is take every one of these stickers, peel it up, peel it off, get rid of it after school. And then he became a senator, right? And 2 times he had it declared William Joyce Day in the state of Louisiana. And so I would go to Baton Rouge and get this declaration, and Dr. Shaw and I would stand there and he would tell this story about, how they did things at the city of Byrd.
Because of my Byrd connections, I was able to be elected a judge in 1990 when Cattle Parish was 66% white and only 33% black. During that period of time, I went on to the Court of Appeals, and during the time I was on the bench, I was put in the Hall of Fame, and then I was able to be elected to as Cattle Parish District Attorney. And I think going to Byrd had an important part of whatever success you say I have.
Mike Jones, after he got hurt at LSU, entered their ROTC program. He went on to be Commanding General, United States Special Forces.
I took a commission into the Army on the 5th of August, 1977. From there, I immediately flew to my first station. After a 5-year tour in Germany, became a Green Beret, and then stayed a Green Beret from probably 1982 to 2006. And then came back to command what was Special Forces Command, which was commanding all Green Berets in the United States Army.
Dr. Bobby Lyle and one of his ventures early on was the Galleria in Dallas. Of course, we have the Lyle Leader program here, and he and I talked about continuing it, and he's going to make sure that happens. Pretty awesome thing that it meant that much to someone, and that their time here meant that much to them.
There are so many touching stories, there's so many funny moments, so many special experiences that we've had here at Byrd High School.
When our son was ill in the hospital in 2008, Jerry Bagsley and all, they were all here, and our class got together and notified Byrd, and the basketball
lady
basketball team
head coach from the
head coach. We have the letter here that she sent us.
Dear Matthew, my name is Christy Goudry, and I'm the girls basketball coach at Byrd High School. Your mom has helped the Lady Jackets with practice facilities for the past few years. I've been following your story since I heard about you in October. I am very impressed with your strength and positive attitude. Keep up the good work. I heard you are a Yellow Jacket fan, so we sent you a few things the team thought you would like. Get well soon. We hope to see you at some games in the future. Sincerely, Christy Goudry and the Lady Jackets. Go Byrd.
Yeah. And they sent us all this stuff. Matthew never got to see it because he passed away. But I mean, look at all this stuff. They knew how much he loved Byrd. We got some of this I hadn't even looked at. It's been hard to do, but hold that up. And I still support the basketball team today. They're just such great people. I mean, look at all this stuff that they sent. He loved Byrd just as much as us. And of course, you were our little
Yeah.
Let's see it. This is special because what school does this? I mean, it's just such a family. That's why you have the Byrd family, and that's why we wanted y'all to be part of that. It's because family is everything.
Yeah.
And that's why Byrd is so important to us.
When my injury happened, I didn't know what to expect. But I mean, then still you're so young and naive that you think that I'm gonna be the same right after, but eventually it didn't happen that way. But because of being at Byrd and being a student at Byrd, I was cared for a lot better than most people were.
He had gone to Dallas, Texas to start his rehab.
After getting back from Dallas, which is where I had intense physical therapy and occupational therapy and some psychotherapy because of the traumatic injury I had.
We knew when he was coming home. We had arranged for the sheriff's office to pick them up at the state line. There were kids up here at the school, and there were kids at his house.
December 22nd, 2008, we got back home, seeing all those pretty faces and those smiles. It was very emotional, especially for my parents.
That was a obviously a big deal. The bigger deal was seeing him get his diploma. That was awesome.
When I went to get my diploma, he shook my hand. He said, how did I not know that was going to happen?
I think Miss Johnson had his name because she usually takes the second half of the alphabet. And I remember telling her, I said, now you're going to call Norman's name and then you're going to have to wait because he's going to get that big ovation, standing ovation. So we worked that out.
I'm definitely proud to be a Yellow Jacket. I wouldn't have it no other way, for sure.
I remember when we went to college and even post-college, everyone was like, oh, you must be a Byrd person because you're still so excited about high school. And, oh, you went to Byrd. And, they kind of roll their eyes. But you hear a lot of people that say, oh, high school was terrible, I could never go back. I think a lot of us would. We all really loved it. And it was such an important part of our lives.
When I was probably 24, 25, I was playing the Asian tour, and I was sitting in an airport in Taipei, Taiwan. And I said, I grew up in Shreveport. And he grew up somewhere in Kansas, didn't know anything about Shreveport. And he said, oh my gosh, he said, the only thing I know about Shreveport is my aunt went to this Byrd High School. And that's all she used to talk about is Byrd High School this and Byrd High School that. Wherever you go, you will have some sort of connection.
Met a lot of people in Nashville and really all over the country. And I've never seen the pride that we have in Byrd High School, and I know that it's continuing to get stronger.
We all came up yesterday and did a tour of the school with Mr. Badgley, and let me tell you what, we were all on fire. We went to the hydroponic lab and just were in awe. Then we went upstairs to the biology lab and saw the cadaver table. And let me tell you what, it was just absolutely amazing.
And my hope is for the future generations of students, not only at Byrd High School and the whole state, that they will be able to enjoy the academic excellence that all of us here on this podium have been speaking of. I'm proud as punch, and yay, Byrd.
I think that Byrd will continue to be on the cutting edge of education as it has been for the last 100 years. I can't wait to see my kids and my grandkids and even my great-grandkids travel these same halls that I have.
I see it as continuing to be the place that everybody wants to go. No matter what your background is, there's a spot for you at Byrd.
I have seen the way that Byrd has taken it to a new level in terms of inclusiveness, in terms of opportunity for all students.
I think it's great to go and reflect on what Byrd evolved to and to look forward to what Byrd can be and continue to be.
What's so great about celebrating the century at Byrd is also making sure that it's here for another century and really setting it up for success. And our Alumni Association does such a great job of that, of making sure that we're remembering our history, but that we're also building a legacy, and we want this school to be here another 200 years from now.
I mean, we got one of the largest alum associations around anywhere in the world.
When you talk about what goes on in Shreveport, Cattle Parish, Louisiana, the country, the world, you got people right out of Byrd. So Byrd was a magnificent institution at the time. The city of Byrd is still magnificent.
This is our 100th graduating class. We're very proud of you, and I don't think it's lost on you that you have a very important place in the history of Byrd High School.
Very rare that you have a high school that is around for 100 years. Historic school that's really contributed a lot to the city of Shreveport, so I'm glad for all the alums that are there, including my wife. So we're just delighted that we can have this 100-year celebration.
Well, Byrd is an institution for the city, great asset to the city, and I'm just proud to be a part of their celebration.
Good evening, senior class of 2025, parents and guardians, relatives and friends, teachers and administrators. I am Anaya Young, Student Council President. We welcome you to the 2025 commencement exercises of C.E. Byrd High School.
We're so glad that you are here with us this evening for the 100th graduating class, the class of 2025.
This is not only a special year as you're graduating during the centennial celebration of the city of Byrd. I know the pride that you have for that.
The C.E. Byrd Alumni Association, with over 38,000 graduates, it represents generations of Yellow Jackets. We are reminded that our connection to Byrd doesn't end here, it just begins.
It is a long-standing tradition at C.E. Byrd that the commencement speaker is a parent of a graduating senior. To introduce our speaker for this special night is DJ Cottenham.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to be able to introduce the 2025 commencement address speaker. Through every challenge, he has taught me to remain steadfast and how to truly become my own man. Please welcome my father, Daryl Cottenham Sr.
Congratulations, graduates. Today is a great day. It's a day to celebrate with your family and friends. A day you've been waiting for since kindergarten, those 13 long years ago. While this is the end of one thing, it's the beginning of the rest of your life. Again, congratulations, class of 2025. Go forth and be great.
Anaya Kiera Young, Ainsley Kate Davis, Daryl J. Cottenham Jr., Jackson Patrick Cooper, Lillian Grace Davis,
Madeline Elizabeth Mason, Caroline Ann Wood.
By the power vested in me by the Louisiana State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, you are now graduates of C.E. Byrd High School, the 100th graduating class.
Just like all of you, Byrd High School truly is and will be always deep within our hearts, as our alma mater says.
Always deep within our hearts, the purple and the gold.
C.E. Byrd High School.